In this work, we explore the use of blockchain in collaborative visual analytics. We built a framework that we call Share.va. It employs a blockchain to store and share the states of visual analytics dashboards among collaborators. For Share.va, we define a specific data structure that enables the use of heterogeneous dashboards, that is, dashboards with different visual configurations, used to analyze the same data. The state is stored as a JSON with three major components. The metadata component, that contains information about who created the state, the collaborators that were present during the state's creation, and the type of dashboard change that led to the dashboard creation. The data component, that contains a pointer to a data set, data filters or functions, and the parameters of those functions or filters. It also contains the notes that describe insights at a specific state. And finally, the view component, that contains the visual properties of the dashboard such as the visualization types, their zoom levels, axis scales, and other visual properties. It also contains the annotations made to the visualizations. To evaluate blockchain, we applied Share.va to an existing dashboard in a real-world application. This dashboard is used by social scientists to analyze dominance hierarchies from animal interaction data. It has 6 visual components for analyzing data. The first component is a selector that allows the user to select one of multiple animal groups to analyze. The second is a music notation that visualizes the interactions that the animals perform. Next is a graph sequence visualization that visualizes the changing dominance hierarchies formed based on the interactions. We also have a line chart that shows the ranking of each animal over time, an interaction matrix that summarizes all the interactions among animals, and a chart to show the distribution of interaction types such as biting or clawing. The visual properties of these 6 components are stored in the view component of the state. But the data they visualize is stored in the data component. For example, we can filter the data, thus causing the data component of the state to change. This causes multiple ranges to be highlighted in all the dashboard visualizations. If we change the visualization in one panel to show a more aggregated version of the hierarchy sequence, the data selection is retained from the data component of the state. But the change in the visual component of the state causes fewer items to be selected, as they are aggregations of the previous view's items. The dashboard also has 2 Share.va components that are used for note sharing and blockchain history viewing. In our case study, we had 3 participants: 2 social science professors, P1 and P2, and a research assistant A1. All 3 collaboratively analyzed the data. P1 and P2 performed a synchronous collaborative analysis, while A1 performed an asynchronous analysis, that was collaboratively reviewed by P1 and P2 at a later stage. P1 and P2 mostly zoomed into visualizations and performed data filtering. They also used annotations to point to interesting findings. They often spent time between interactions discussing these findings. As you can see, due to the high latency of the blockchain, the updates are not instantaneous. This primarily affects real-time collaboration, and does not allow us to share mouse positions and scrolling in real time. However, this does not affect asynchronous collaboration. Collaborators can perform an analysis, push it to the blockchain, and smoothly review the analysis with the quicker blockchain read times. The history bar at the bottom helps users to navigate dashboard states stored on the blockchain. It makes use of history glyphs. The center of the glyph contains a wireframe of the dashboard, with panels in the wireframe being highlighted if a change occurred in them. Arcs along the circumference indicate which collaborators were present during the state's creation. They are colored based on the usernames of collaborators. The center of the glyph is also colored based on the user who caused the state to be created. For example, P1 created this state and P2 was present during its creation. But these states were created asynchronously by A1, thus no collaborators were present.